Welcome to It Takes a Co-op. I'm your host, Malissa Fritz. I lead the communications team at CHS. Each month, we bring you conversations with voices across the cooperative system on topics related to agriculture and energy and the important work of our CHS owners and employees. This month, we'll learn how cooperatives are driving advances in crop production, supply chain efficiency, and sustainability. We're talking today with Beth Kearns of Cerity Partners Ventures. She's an advisor to Cooperative Ventures, a venture capital fund created by CHS and Growmark to spark innovation in agriculture. Let's start with a little background. In 2021, CHS and Growmark launched Cooperative Ventures, a venture capital fund focused on finding new solutions and encouraging emerging technologies that deliver a positive impact on farming and agriculture. As two of the largest farmer-owned cooperatives in North America, CHS and Growmark can offer a view of on-farm needs and help startup companies test technology in a real-world situation. Beth, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to join us today. We're going to talk about cooperative ventures. We're going to talk about your role within that and the unique kind of opportunity Cooperative Ventures has for CHS and for owners. First off, tell me a little bit about your role at Cooperative Ventures and how it fits into that broader picture of venture capital initiatives.
Well, thanks so much for having me here. It's a real pleasure to be talking to you about Cooperative Ventures. I love the title of your podcast, It Takes a Co-op, because that's really at the center of everything that we're doing with Cooperative Ventures. Is it does take a co-op, it takes a co-op, and it takes the voice of the farmer to really have an impact on innovation within the agriculture ecosystem. And so a little bit of background in terms of what Cooperative Ventures is. So Cooperative Ventures is a venture capital fund that is a joint venture between CHS and Growmark. And they came together at the end of 2021, and they decided to launch this venture capital fund as a new initiative that both companies were behind and really excited to do together. And then a little while after that, they decided to bring my team into the conversation. And we're a part of Cerity Partners Ventures, which is the venture capital arm of Cerity Partners. There's a lot of names that I'm throwing around, I know. But Cerity Partners is a large investment management platform with services related to wealth management and retirement planning and business advisory and family offices. I mean, it's a very broad investment management platform. And we at Cerity Partners Ventures are the venture capital specialists. And our specialty is working with corporations to manage their venture capital funds. So that's really our secret sauce, and our specialty is working with corporations like CHS and Growmark to get the most out of their venture capital programs.
I know you work for a venture capital organization, but you also have some farm ties as well. And that is one of the things that many of us that have grown up in agriculture love about this industry, is that you can't be far removed, no matter where you are, from your history and your roots back to agriculture. Mm-hmm. So fun to see that you are engaging in this work. Tell us about Cooperative Ventures. What is the mission and the goals that the organization is really going after?
Our mission is to support innovation in the agricultural space, really with the focus of the needs of the farmers and the cooperatives. We collectively, because we really do see ourselves as Growmark, CHS, and Cerity Partners Ventures, we are trusted advisors to the farmers. And we take that role really seriously as we look at opportunities in this space. We are looking at opportunities in 4 key areas. We call them our sector focus areas. And all of them, again, with the needs of the farmer in mind. And so, I can run through those 4 sector focus areas just to kind of give you a flavor of the types of things that we're looking at and how that ties into that overall mission.
Yeah, that would be terrific. Do you mind? What are those 4 key areas?
Sure. So first we have crop production, which, as anyone in the space knows, that's a massive category, right? So you've got anything that really touches the field. You've got the crop nutrients, you've got seed technology and genetics, crop protection, biologicals, and we would even put precision agriculture into that bucket because it's really anything that is going to impact how farmers operate on the field. Then we also have supply chain, which again is a really big bucket. And we think about it in terms of the products and the services that enhance supply chain efficiency. Because anything that helps with supply chain efficiency ends up, helping to streamline the process for the retailers and the distributors, and ultimately for the producers and for the farmers themselves. So that's the first two buckets. The next bucket is what we call farmer business enablement, which we think is really critical in looking at how different technology solutions can actually help the farmers better manage their businesses, and be more efficient in how they do that. So that can be anything related to accounting or insurance or financing, maybe even like labor and resources as well. And then lastly, our fourth bucket is sustainability. And as you can imagine, that theme runs across the other three sector focus areas as well. But then we really specifically look at systems and technologies that can help farmers and ranchers and the cooperatives really think about how to reduce and monitor the environmental impact of what they're doing on the fields.
There have been so many advancements when you look across various industries and how we do business today compared to how we used to. But I think when you look at how we farm today or how the supply chain that we leverage to get our products to or from where they're headed, it's just advanced immensely over the last 5-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some really terrific investments so far that Cooperative Ventures has made, 3 in fact. What are those investments and how do you think they really help the farmer to move forward as we think about kind of the impact that they could have?
First off, we have Earth Optics, and Earth Optics combines advanced field sensors and lab analysis to kind of the most complete view of your soil's health. And, by measuring the various aspects of that soil, there are aspects of agronomic planning that can really provide analytics and insights. And then there's also potential carbon planning that can be a really critical aspect of that complete carbon measurement. So this is one that definitely has a sustainability play, but obviously very much in the crop production bucket because we're looking at the soil and the impact on the field itself. Next up, we have Sabanto, which is a retrofit kit that attaches to tractors. And it's a full technology platform that really transforms farmers' existing tractors to operate autonomously. And, with various factors related to labor, and also kind of like different field operations, like Sabanto's offering an opportunity to really kind of amplify and really change the way that potentially farmers can leverage their existing tractors to take advantage of these new technologies and opportunities for autonomy. And then lastly, we have Traction Ag, which is an all-in-one accounting and farm management platform really built with farmers in mind. And that was the critical component of looking at this opportunity because, there are very specific needs for farmers. And so, working with Traction Ag, there's an opportunity to track and analyze production costs, inventory tracking, and then really look at the profitability, maybe even on a per field basis, and then also thinking about resource optimization. So really unique opportunity to kind of take the best of these software innovations related to accounting and really think about it with the farmer first and foremost and what their needs are.
As you and the team look at opportunities, how do you vet these different organizations and companies to be able to select kind of the cream of the crop, so to speak?
Absolutely. So this is definitely a fun part of the job because we are casting a very wide net and we are looking at all different types of opportunities that could potentially impact our corporate partners and their constituents. So, we as Cerity Partners Ventures, we have colleagues that are looking at opportunities in different industries as well. So as a firm, we are looking at 10,000 different deals a year and talking to thousands of startups every year, and then each of our funds has a very specific what we call a pipeline. And so the pipeline is really tailored to the needs of a particular fund. And so for cooperative ventures, we are casting this really broad net to look at all different types of opportunities, and then we're sorting through them based off of those four fields of play that I was just talking about. It's like, do they fit into those fields of play? Are they set up to have impact in the North American marketplace? Because that's critical for what our corporate partners are looking for. We'll look at opportunities around the world, but how can we potentially bring them to the North American market to have impact here? And then we're also what we call stage agnostic. It's like we'll look at really, really early stage, like a seed stage company, an early stage company or a growth stage company, but we're really looking for opportunities to help commercialize the solutions and bring them to our constituents, ultimately the farmers and the cooperatives. So, this pipeline is so robust, and we as venture capitalists are very specifically looking at, the business fundamentals and what's the growth opportunities and who else is invested and what's the overall market opportunity. So we're doing that venture capital financial analysis, and we are working so closely with our corporate partners, with CHS and with Growmark, to analyze and assess the strategic fit and the potential commercial impact that these companies can have on both our constituents as well as how our corporations operate. So we kind of have this best of both worlds opportunity to work hand in hand with our corporate partners and all of the industry expertise and the institutional knowledge that our colleagues bring from CHS and Growmark to kind of have this really holistic picture of what are the opportunities, and then we continue to fine tune and work together to evaluate and due diligence those opportunities and ultimately, get approval for investment, and also make commercial introductions to try and get some commercial traction as well.
Likely an oversimplification, but in essence, you're taking what one organization needs and helping them match up with these startup companies. So you're a bit of a matchmaker of sorts, finding these funding companies and these startups and helping them to find each other, to bring them together, so to speak. Accurately oversimplified, but
I mean, we call ourselves different things and in different metaphors, right? And I think one way we like to look at it is almost like a river guide, which might sound a little strange, but it's like we as cooperative ventures, we're in this boat together and we're going on this journey together, and we're able to bring others into the boat along with us to accomplish these various goals. And we really see ourselves as at times we're kind of interpreters between the big company and the little company, but it's really about like, how do we bring everybody together for a mutually beneficial relationship? And that can include investment, but it also needs to include like that strategic support that we can provide as corporate venture capitalists, which is very unique because you have different type of funding sources, and we're coming together as a corporate venture capital fund to provide both the investment and the commercial support.
I can't think of anybody better to ask this question, given all of your experience working with startups. Why should agriculture or the cooperative or CHS and GrowMark, why should we be thinking about investing in startups or ag tech startups, any kind of startup? Uh,
Mhm.
what's the, give us some of the details around why it's really important to think about startups as a partner for the future.
Well, there's so much innovation happening generally within the startup ecosystem. And with corporations in particular, it's like they have established businesses and they are innovating as well. CHS looks at M&A opportunities. They're obviously doing their own R&D internally, and they're doing other business development partnerships with innovators. But being able to invest alongside a commercial opportunity, like we're really bringing that market power to bear when we're working with startups specifically in the ag tech space. And these startups need not just the capital, but they do need the commercial support too. So, without participation from companies like CHS and Growmark, that it's hard to commercialize. I mean, in any industry, it's hard to commercialize, but I think especially in agriculture, when you're talking about, getting to the farmers, that can be a pretty big chasm, for potential commercialization. And so, in particular, the cooperatives just have this really unique role to help with that, to not only provide innovation broadly within the ecosystem, but also to help the cooperatives really survive and thrive, because there's going to be innovation coming from all different directions, even from the Amazons of the world or the Microsofts of the world and how they're leveraging data to apply it to agriculture. Like there are all different things that are happening in the marketplace. And so our participation really helps to set the cooperatives up for success in the long term.
As we wrap up our time together, Beth, one last question. What can we learn from these organizations as we think about whether venture capital initiatives, the best practices that are being used? What can farmers that are listening or cooperative leadership that are listening, what can we pull as some of their best practices and maybe think about how we could use those in our work?
Sure. So again, like because of how we're set up, we have a team that's dedicated to cooperative ventures, but we're able to draw from expertise and frameworks from other industries within Cerity Partners Ventures. And so we're looking at innovations and best practices in other industries as well to bring them into agriculture. So we have a very close relationship with our industrials practice, and so really looking at like supply chain, and then we also have a very close relationship with our financial technology team, because we're looking at like, okay, well, what fintech solutions are out there that could potentially be applicable to what our cooperatives are doing. So there are a lot of different best practices that we can think about of like, where's innovation happening broadly? It doesn't just have to be within ag. It's like, how can we bring best practices from other industries into agriculture as well?
That's exactly what being a cooperative is all about, right?
Exactly.
Bringing all of your best together and working together to achieve something you can't do alone. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Me too. This was fantastic. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Have a great day.